Hillary Clinton announced her VP pick on Friday night. She went with Tim Kaine of Virginia. So why did she pick him? Well, Hillary is doing horribly among white men. In fact, it may be some sort of record how bad she's doing among white men. So she thought, let's think about this in a demographic way, and I'm just going to pick a white man, and in the case of Tim Kaine, a really boring white man, and also a white man who's a Democrat, but he's pretty goddamn conservative as far as Democrats go. So I actually think this is an incredibly patronizing and condescending pick, because what's she doing? She's, of course, assuming that white men vote on the basis solely, or actually, let me be clear here. She's assuming that white liberals vote on the basis of skin color and gender. No. See, the whole point of being a liberal means we don't really look at shit like that. What we care about is policy substance. So you're picking a guy who's disastrous on policy substance because you think his demographic group and his gender overrides that stuff, and that'll make white men go, oh, okay, I guess this is who I'm going to go for. And look, I'm a white man. That seems pretty clear. And what Hillary's doing here is it's a classic mistake. She's doing the old school model that the Democratic strategists are telling her. In the general election, you have to run to the right, and that means you're going towards the center, and your job is to get moderate votes and some liberal Republicans to vote for you. So that's their advice. There's never been worse advice in human history. Why do I say that? The moderates are largely phantom, because they're talking about independence. When you actually go to the specifics on independence, they're mostly partisans who are either on the right or on the left, but they just call themselves independents. And Republicans have no interest in her. The only Republicans who are going to vote for Hillary Clinton are establishment Republicans in Washington who are part of this corrupt system and who like money in politics. But she missed the main point here because she thought that since some of her Republican buddies in Washington like her, that, I can do a pick here that'll make other Republicans, average Joe Republicans, who might be somewhat liberal on social issues or something, make them vote for me. They have no interest in you. I said it a million times. When you look at actual Republican voters, they love Trump. That's why he fucking won the primary. But the establishment Republicans don't like Trump, and those are the ones who like Hillary. So she thinks like, my base is locked down, so let me go in that direction. Well, that's the problem, Hillary. Your base is not locked down. You just assume your base is locked down because your strategists tell you the base is locked down. But when you go to the data, you find out that those are the people you need more than anybody, and they're the least interested in you. So the most progressive people in the country, the most liberal people in the country, they were the Bernie Sanders voters. 50% of Bernie Sanders voters are like, fucking Hillary Clinton. Fucking Hillary Clinton. Depending on which poll you look at, some it's like 50%, others it's as high as like 62% or so. That's the percentage of Bernie voters who say, okay, I'll vote for Hillary. Which means about half of them are like, I'm not going to do that. Even 20% of them, as many as 20% of them, are going to vote for Trump. That's unheard of. That wasn't the case like the last election, for example. It wasn't the case that, we didn't get, the progressive base didn't get who they wanted, so they said, you know what, we're going to vote for Mitt Romney. That doesn't happen. So obviously there's some sort of appeal that Trump has that the other Republicans don't have, and he's tapping into something, and the answer to that is economic populism. And instead of fighting fire with fire and countering that by saying, hey, look, we're the liberals, we're the progressives, we're the Democrats, we're obviously more pro-worker than this idiot is, what does she do? No, she feeds into the exact wrong narrative. That the Democrats don't care of you, that they're disconnected, that they're establishment, that they're moving further right-wing. So why is Tim Kaine such a bad pick? Because all you guys are probably like, okay, so I get it, you think he's bad, but why? What are the policy reasons why he's bad? Well, it's very simple. He was for fast track of TPP, which obviously indicates he's what? For TPP. He even says, hey, this is a great improvement over the status quo. He had said that. But now that he's with Hillary and Hillary's pretending to be against it because of Bernie, but Bernie pushed her to the left on that, he's like, oh, no, I haven't even really made up my mind on TPP. Really? Then why'd you vote for fast track of TPP? No, he's for TPP. He's also for bank deregulation. So he was doing this, he was campaigning for this and pushing for this as he was auditioning for VP for Hillary Clinton. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, he got it despite that. He may have gotten it as a result of that. Hillary looked at that and was like, awesome, that's what I do. I'm all for that. And he's also for predatory payday lenders. There was this letter that was being signed by a bunch of actual liberals in Congress, and they sent a letter to try to crack down more and do regulation of these predatory payday lenders. They asked Tim Kaine, hey, Tim, you want to sign this? He's like, oh, I'm busy on that day. I don't know if I really want to do that. So terrible, terrible, terrible. And, of course, he's open to cutting Social Security. He's mentioned that a few times. So, look, he's just not at all progressive. He's a centrist, center-right, corporatist establishment Democrat. The biggest criticism and the reason why the base was uneasy about Hillary is because she's that as well. Instead of calming the base and getting the votes where she's most likely to get them, left independents, she snubs them and she runs right. She snubs them and she runs right. Now, compare that with Donald Trump. Everybody said to Donald Trump, look, man, some of your base is uneasy. The Ted Cruz voters, for example. Come on, man. And I think the base of the Republican Party is actually more pro-Trump than the base of the Democratic Party is pro-Hillary. But they still said, hey, man, look, Ted Cruz voters. You want to throw him a bone or you don't want to throw him a bone? I mean, look, we could run to the left here and do the idea of snubbing the base. He's like, no, I'll pick somebody to make my base calm down. And also for fundraising reasons in Trump's case because, well, also for Hillary too. But Mike Pence is a massive insider, but he's also a right-wing prick. So he picked somebody who calms down the evangelicals. This is a guy who's a creationist. I mean, this is a guy who is kind of like Ted Cruz. He's a fucking smoking truther. He says, oh, cigarettes don't kill. Like all these just crazy far-right positions. Trump picks that guy. So he calms his uneasy base with his pick, whereas Hillary, what does Hillary do? Snubs her uneasy base with her pick. So they're making every single mistake imaginable, man. And what's amazing is they're utterly clueless. Hillary is so deep in her bubble, she has no clue. She thinks like, no, I nailed it with this pick. I made the best pick ever. I'm playing it safe by going with a boring white dude, and I might pick up some white male voters. And the base is locked up anyway. Fuck them. I got to get the crossovers and the moderates. You couldn't be more wrong in your analysis. Who dislikes you the most, Hillary? Millennials. Millennials love Bernie Sanders. Millennials want an actual progressive. Instead of picking somebody who is progressive to try to get millennials on your side, somebody like Elizabeth Warren, instead of picking somebody to get left independents who you had a shot at, you just fucking snubbed them and you put your middle finger up to them. The demographics you needed the most, you said fuck off. And the ones who you have no chance of getting are the ones who you ended up appealing to, and they're still going to laugh in your face and not vote for you. So I don't know what the fuck they're thinking, except I do know what the fuck they're thinking. They're thinking it's 1992 and establishment centrism is popular. It's not 1992. Establishment centrism isn't popular. People want somebody to shake things up. They want an economic populist. And Trump is actually making that case. And he keeps, by the way, appealing to Bernie Sanders voters too. He keeps saying, hey, I got the real political revolution now. He doesn't anymore. So come join me. We'll welcome you with open arms, he said. Meanwhile, what's Hillary doing? Every opportunity. Fuck you, Bernie supporters. Fuck you, left independents. Fuck you, millennials. Tim Kaine. Yeah, let's get further right wing and more pro-establishment. And people get mad at me. See, they think like doing the analysis I'm doing now. They think like this is me rooting for Donald Trump. Motherfucker, I called Donald Trump Terrorist Don. I've done ads against him. And the ads I do against him show him saying, we got to take out their families. We got to take out their families, talking about terrorists. He's advocating murdering civilians. Nobody's tougher on Donald Trump than me. I highlight all the really monstrous shit he says. The Geneva Conventions is the problem. We need to torture even if it doesn't work. Let's default on the U.S. debt, which will lead to a global depression. You think I'm pro-Trump? How fucking stupid do you have to be? I'm calling out what I think are the trends in the campaigns. And I'm telling you, iceberg dead ahead. Now, I know, you guys know, I don't like Hillary either. But the idea, he doesn't like Hillary, he criticizes Hillary and how he's running her campaign equals he must be pro-Trump. That's complete bullshit, and that's all in your fucking mind. I'm the one that's warning you. I'm the one that's telling you, look the fuck out. If you don't shape up, we could have President Trump. Fucking Nate Silver, earlier today, he has this nowcast where he analyzes the data and says, this is what will happen if the election was today. Now, for the first time, it's like there's an awakening. And even some establishment people are like, ooh, this is real. So he asked Trump now, if the election was today, Trump would win. 57% or so he put him at. And remember, this is from the guy who, like a month ago, he said Hillary has a 79% chance of winning. Now, what did I say then? I said that's totally wrong and misleading because Nate does not have a way to quantify how they're running their campaigns. So in absence of a good way to quantify it, he just ignores how they're running their campaigns. And I was saying, look, we need to be more accurate here, and we got to find a way to quantify that because I'm telling you, those aren't the real odds. She doesn't have an 80% chance of winning. It's just not the case. Well, fast forward to today, and I'm proven correct. That those things that I was talking about in how they were running their campaigns, they finally took hold and then eventually reflected in the numbers. It would be good if you had a way to quantify that earlier on to see she's running a shitty campaign, he's running a good campaign, and this is going to reflect itself eventually in the numbers, and you could take it into account at the time. He couldn't do that. But in other words, what I've been warning about all along is true, and now it's reflecting. So, again, you could dismiss everything I'm saying, but just know you're dismissing... I was right during the primary, too. So at the very beginning, I dismissed Trump like everybody else. He fucking launched his campaign. He paid actors to come in the room and hold signs for him. I mean, that's amazing. This is a guy who was up there and said, oh, this is great. Thousands of people here. Thousands of them. And then there were reporters in the room. They're like, hey, jackass, there's dozens. There's not even hundreds. You're saying there's thousands of people in here. So I dismissed him like everybody else at the beginning. Very soon thereafter, I said, no, this is real. After the first debate, after the second debate, after Iowa, every step of the way, the establishment said, he's done, he's got no chance. I said, not only does he have a chance, but when we were only 3 elections in, what did I say? When we were 3 elections in, I said it'd be a minor miracle if he doesn't win. So I think he's going to win. So when Nate Silver was on the it'll never be Trump, Trump will never get the nomination, I was saying it will be Trump. And now, what position are we in? Well, for the longest time, it was like, but come on, Hillary, it's a lockup for Hillary, right? Is it? Is it a lockup for Hillary? She's making every wrong decision imaginable. So buckle the fuck up. This race, it's going to keep fluctuating, the numbers, and you're going to have, at times, Trump is going to be a favorite, at times, Hillary's going to be a favorite. We're going to go up, down, up, down, up, down. The debates will have a lot to do with it, and that'll show something. But if you think this is fucking locked up for Hillary Clinton, when there's also 8 more scandals that just broke, you have no clue what the fuck you're talking about.